Well, here we are. It's Wednesday, June 10th, 2026. We're going to go through some emails, maybe a voicemail, maybe a rogue voicemail that's out there. We're going to talk about some news stories going on, some rumors that are floating about in WWE, including the big one of CM Punk is done with WWE. Is that true? And yes, I'm recording this on a Wednesday because originally I was going to do the mailbag tomorrow, but with my travels Friday, I've got other things tomorrow. So here we are. And if you send me a voicemail or email after this gets published, as you know, my rule is I will still read it as part of Sunday's Week in Review show. So your efforts are not lost. You will still be able to get your response or your comments or rants on the air. So no fear. Have no fear. One last thing. You want to join us? Patreon.com/WWE podcast. Best place for ad-free everything that we do, including videos, multi videos per week. I mean, we're probably doing 2-3 per week for patrons over there. It's not available on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify, just to patrons who are subscribers and supporting the show. So thank you. But let's get to the emails first. And we'll start. Let's start with Wes. Let's start with Wes. Wes from PNW. He says, I really enjoy your show and appreciate the work you do to keep us all up to date. I've been listening for the past couple of years, but this is my first email. I've been an avid listener since I got back into wrestling at Survivor Series 2023. I had stepped away around 2009 due to college, so your analysis helped me get caught up on the current roster. Cool. First of all, I thought that was setting up for something, it was like a pretext for, but I just can't take it anymore. I've gotten a few of these emails over the last few weeks. Usually when you hear from somebody that hasn't ever emailed in or contacted the show before and they've been listening for a while and then they contact you out of nowhere, usually, but not always, that means they have an issue. Right, they can't take it. But your show this past week really sent me over the edge about this or that. So I thought for sure that was going to be it. I have not read your emails. This is the first run through I've had. So cool. All right. There's no setup here. It's not I like you, but cool. Well, thank you for supporting the show. I'm glad I could help you get caught up while you were getting back into wrestling and you stepped away in 2009. That's quite a trip, quite a step away from wrestling. That's a lot of time to miss. So hopefully we helped. Okay. Punk and Randy are still my top guys from back when I first watched, and I'm hoping WWE gives them strong storylines when they return, hopefully around SummerSlam. That seems to be a logical landing spot for those men. The second biggest event of the year. It's a 2-night event. They need depth. 2 massive stars. No current storylines. Yes. As long as Randy Orton's physically able to go. From what I understand, CM Punk is physically fine. They just gave him time off, didn't have much creative for him, and that's good. It's nice to have a break from Punk. But with Randy Orton, it's always health related. And let's just hope, fingers crossed, that his back or shoulder or whatever continues to nag him over these decades is not going to rear its ugly head. Because I think Randy Orton, despite the fact that he looks like $1 million when he's in the ring, his body seems to be fragile. And he's put together well, but boy, the older he gets, the more injuries and more numerous injuries he seems to have, and long injuries. Not these quick, like, I sprained this or pulled that. Randy Orton, remember, he was out for 18 months with back surgery. The night that he returned, of course, was spoiled by the night that CM Punk returned, so he was overshadowed, which annoys the shit out of him, and I would totally agree with that. But 18 months he was out, and he takes these long hiatuses, so it's hard to ever count on him as champion. It's not at all that he can't be or isn't qualified to be or couldn't handle the pressure. He could sleepwalk as a champion and would do incredible. It's simply keeping him healthy. That has been his Achilles heel. But I think you're right. SummerSlam is a great place for both men to land. All right. let's continue a little bit more in this email here. So I'm also glad to see the women's division's doing so well. Honestly, I think they've outshined the men in terms of storytelling half the time. I've really enjoyed what they've been doing with Charlotte and Alexa, but I'm getting tired of Alexa constantly taking the fall for Charlotte. She deserves a real push, especially with the star power she showed on the European tour. I'd love to see both of them more active in singles competition, though I'm not ready to bury the duo just yet. Do you think there's a way for WWE to keep their chemistry without falling back into the endless tag team cycle? Thanks for all the great work. Peace and blessings, Wes. Thank you, Wes. Same to you. So I feel that with Charlotte and Alexa, both need to go their separate ways. And I've said this before. If you heard me before on this topic, I have not changed my thinking. Charlotte and Alexa do need to split, but they should do it amicably. I don't need anyone turning heel. Both women are just fine as babyfaces. And in fact, dare I say, Alexa Bliss has been underutilized for a very long time. This is going back to her return at the Rumble. Or initially when she then went on a quick singles run, was off and on TV, and then, eventually tagged up with Charlotte, and they went on their way, and the rest is history. But even prior to that, if you go all the way back to the Bray Wyatt days, as fun as she was, she didn't ever wrestle. She seemingly just was sitting on a swing backstage and saying creepy things and holding a doll, which she's still doing to some degree with that doll, but at least when you see her, she's mostly wrestling. My point is, though, I feel that we haven't even seen the best of Alexa. We haven't gotten the full-fledged, as you said, push. And I know what Charlotte's capable of. We've seen that, been there, done that. It's been a while, so even if she did come back to the singles role, I don't think the fans would outright reject it. I do believe they'd give her a little bit of grace here. Even if she's chasing the women's championship, I do believe that it's been enough time, and Alexa has helped soften the image of Charlotte. It's not just Charlotte helping Alexa. It's a big return that she's getting from Alexa, helping the fans' perspective change on how they look at Charlotte, because it's been so long, and you don't ever hear from Charlotte anymore. Up until very recently, when she was in the tag team with Alexa, she was just happy-go-lucky Charlotte, cracking jokes, the besties, frenemies, whatever. And you didn't really hear from Charlotte. She wasn't talking about being a queen and telling people to bow to her and just chasing the women's championship incessantly, which has helped fans cool off. And so I think that they'll probably put Alexa, or rather Charlotte, in the women's championship picture come SummerSlam, maybe one-on-one against Jade. That's a WrestleMania main event in most people's minds, but it's certainly SummerSlam worthy. On the other hand, Alexa Bliss, as I just mentioned, for a long, long period of time, multi-year kind of downslide from her, where we haven't got the best version of her. Now, yes, she took time off. She had got married. She had kids. Fine. But there's more to Alexa than we've seen. I don't think people realize or have forgotten how good she is on the microphone. She's awesome. So I just want them to split. It's time. The women's tag team division is now deep enough that they could handle this dissolution of the team. You don't even need to make a big announcement or a big to-do about it, because there is no heel turn, hopefully. You have Lash Legend and Nia Jax, who I think do need more time as well and should be more front and center than they already are. But that's my thought. I want Alexa more front and center than she is as well in a singles role. But yes, I think there's a way for WWE to keep their chemistry, and then you just have them. I mean, you could have them just have a conversation backstage saying, hey, I'm going to go my separate way. I'm chasing this. You're chasing that. It's been great. Best of luck to you. But once they split as a team, I don't need them going back on air. Once you're done as a team, you're done. But right now, it's a safety net for them. There needs to be a plan in place for Alexa and for Charlotte if they're going to do it, though. I don't want them just splitting it because they feel like it's time. Follow up. At least a short to intermediate time frame of a plan. But there. All right. Good questions, Wes. Take care. Let's go to, oh goodness, Qualia from Kenya. Is this, dare I say, the first emailer from Kenya? I'll take your word for it that you're from Kenya. I mean, I have no way to verify it, but why not? It's fun. Okay. So Qualia, I hope I said that right, says, hey, first time writer, long time listener since April 2024. Well, thank you for listening for 2 years. That's a chunk of time. Curious to know what your top 3 matches of all time are. Mine have to be Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, WrestleMania 25, Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa, NXT TakeOver 2018, and The Rock versus Stone Cold, WrestleMania 17. All right. And you have a disagreement after this. Cool. All right, we'll talk about that in a minute. My top 3, they change. They change, man. I actually don't have a running list of these top 3 matches because depending on the day, depending on how fresh that match is in my mind, can affect how I would rank that match. It's sometimes really difficult to put those in your mind and have it set in stone. That said, how about I rank to me, maybe not in any particular order, but I'll give you 3 matches that have been the most influential on my wrestling fandom. Some of the most memorable for me that had the most impact. Number 1 for me, and again, if you've been listening to me for a while, you might know my answer on this already, but one of the most impactful matches I've ever had in my wrestling life as a fan, of course, and one of the earliest that I've had as a fan, when I first started watching, where I actually thought this may be real. Oh my gosh, but this is so cool. Even if it's not real, it seems like it is. And, you know, I'm not going to give you a life story here, I promise. This is not story time, but it's setting up the context of my answer to your question about my matches, my 3 matches. It happened in 1997, and I was 12 years old. Do the math on how old I am now. And it was one of the most impactful matches because to this day, it still holds up as one of the best in a lot of people's minds. And that is, of course, the first Hell in a Cell match in 1997 with Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. And it wasn't just because the match was so incredible and you had 2 of the best performers to ever grace the squared circle. 2 legends in the business, not just Hall of Famers, but legends. And the story is what grabbed me. It was incredibly well told. Incredibly well told. You have The Undertaker, this dark character that was dominant, one of the top baby faces in the company at the time. They were just transitioning into the Attitude Era. You had The Undertaker, who was really starting to reach his prime. Shawn Michaels, the arrogant heel, but could wrestle his ass off, one of the best in the business at the time and still ever to do it, was taunting The Undertaker prior to this. He ended up hitting The Undertaker in the head with a chair, bloodying The Undertaker, put The Undertaker in a body bag at one point. Undertaker set up. I mean, it was just so well done. Easy to understand. And you know, Shawn Michaels had a match with Undertaker prior to that at a In Your House branded pay-per-view, which, yes, it was called a pay-per-view at that time, at Ground Zero, where Undertaker and Shawn Michaels actually had a lumberjack match, and Shawn Michaels was still able to escape and use the lumberjacks to his advantage. So the idea was, no, okay, you want to try to run and hide? You want someone to help you? Well, we're going to put you inside of a cell with The Undertaker. It was just great storytelling, simple to understand logic. And it's still to this day, even rewatching it back, it's magic. It is what grabbed me and pulled me into wrestling. It's this, if it was a person, if this match, if the feeling of this match was a person, that person grabbed me and dragged me by the legs into this room of being a wrestling fan, shut the door and padlocked it, and threw away the key and said, "You are now a wrestling fan forever." That match had such an impact on me. So for just a nostalgic standpoint, from a storytelling standpoint, and yes, because it's still regarded as one of the best, it's the first Hell in a Cell match, on and on, that's certainly in my top 3 all the time when I answer this question. I would have to concur, Shawn Michaels, also an Undertaker at WrestleMania 25, is on my list, at least in the top 5. I could argue top 3 as well. Incredibly done match. Nearly 20 years later, of course, which is funny, but these two work so well together. They may have one of the best chemistries I've ever seen of any two wrestlers. Yes, and also Stone Cold and The Rock of WrestleMania 17 was incredible. I would concur with that as well. And you know what? Do I dare say Roman Reigns, CM Punk this past WrestleMania? That's at least in my top 5 to 10. It was just another level. It is what a WrestleMania main event should be. It was well-paced, enough time to tell a story, a decent build, not incredible, but a decent build, and they executed it to perfection at the highest of high levels. Great twists and turns, false finishes, no interference, just great. That, I mean, again, this past year is on my list. So, and there's others. Yes, involving Undertaker or Triple H. And also the WrestleMania 20 main event. No one really talks about that. WrestleMania 20, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Chris Benoit. Yes, Chris Benoit. Yes, we all know what he did. But if we take that out of the equation, I'm just talking about wrestling, which I know it's hard to separate the two, but at the time it was just an incredible match, which is sad that match is now spoiled forever and lost in the annals of time because Chris Benoit was involved in it. And I understand why they did it, and I don't disagree with why they're ignoring that match, and they'll never talk about it or bring it up. I get it. But, I mean, there's others as well. So many good ones. But I would agree with you. If you're talking about top of the top, yes. Okay. Also, I slightly disagree with you. This is going to be fun. On the El Grande Americano storyline being weak. Yeah, sure, it started off slow, but it eventually peaked. I'd say it's the perfect definition of absolute cinema and felt more important than most matches on WrestleMania since WrestleMania 40's main event 2 years ago. I never said the El Grande storyline, though, was weak. Maybe you misunderstood. I didn't say it was weak. I don't like, and again, I don't know which part of the story you're referring to about what I said. But I reiterate quickly, the El Grande Americano storyline, I had actually no issue with. I thought it was something at least for Chad to do, get in the ring every week. It was kind of endearing for a little while. It more than ran its course, though. As always, WWE, when they find something, will burn it into the ground until you just can't stand it anymore, and then they'll do it again. They don't know when to not continue to do something. When they find a formula that works, they don't know when to stop before it starts to feel stale, because everything has a shelf life. And I think they did that with the storyline. So maybe that's what you're referring to, but I don't like the apology tour, most importantly. The apology tour that Chad Gable's on makes no sense if you just dig beyond the surface. If you don't want to dig beyond the surface, then yeah, it makes sense. Oh, he's trying to impersonate the luchadors. He should apologize if he's trying to be a babyface. I've already explained, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, Quali. I'm just saying, because I've already talked about this multiple times on previous shows, so I don't want to make every show feel the same. But if you want a full explanation as to why it's just ridiculous that he's going on this apology tour, you can listen to my previous explanations. But thank you all the way from Kenya. Hope all is well over there and you're staying safe. All right. I think I'm going to go into Patreon because I do believe if I go into the inbox, and those of you on Patreon can absolutely send me messages directly in the application. So you don't have to email me separately if you don't want to. All right. This is Charlie Furman. He says, Charlie, or what's going on, everyone? It's Charlie from Milwaukee. I just bought tickets for my SummerSlam 2-day combo. I would love to try to do an in-person perspective. What will work and so forth. Yeah. So how about you just, Charlie, send in your notes. I'd love to see and hear what you experienced at SummerSlam. Let me know where you're sitting. You know, just most importantly, and I tell this to everybody that offers to give me their perspective on their wrestling experience, enjoy the show first and foremost. Don't sit there and go, oh my God, well, I should write a note down. I have to give a podcast, these notes, that notes. Just go and enjoy the show. That's the first thing, first and foremost, because it'll dilute your attention if you're worried about anything other than enjoying where you're at, because your brain won't be there. You won't fully be able to experience it. I don't want to take away from it, especially the prices that people are paying now to go to these events. So that goes for everybody. Yes, Charlie, because you're the one that triggered this answer. But to anybody that ever is going to an event, I would love and appreciate anyone's in-person perspective, because you don't get that from obviously being at home. In person, if you've been to an event before, provides a much different perspective on the show and the inner workings of wrestling than does the just produced television show that you see at home. But my golden rule, enjoy the show. Don't sit there with a notebook or use your, if you want, I guess you could use the Notes app on your phone or whatever, but that should be an afterthought. This show should be an afterthought for you when you're there. Because to be honest, what will be the most important is what you remember, because that tells me if you were there experiencing it live and not worried about just taking detailed notes or thinking that this is what I'd want to know. Whatever you take away from it is something that clearly stuck with you, and therefore it's something we should talk about. I don't have a laundry list of things that I need to know about what your in-person experience was. I will just go with whatever you provide me. You know, if you want to talk about merch, the lines, the demographics, who sat near you, where your seats were, all of that, fine. But just share with me what meant the most to you and what you noticed out of the show. That's my rule of thumb. Okay. So we're going to get to a voicemail. I believe it's Kyle. So we're going to talk to him, and then we will talk about the rumor floating around that CM Punk is done with WWE. So Kyle, you're up.
Hey, it's Kyle. So I wanted to talk about the Queen and King Ring tournaments, and that fact you have, Javon Shockley winning and Liv going to the semifinals. I don't know. I feel it's very just bizarre to me that, you have the women's champion in this tournament. They really are leading into the Queen Liv and King Dom thing that they want to do. I just don't think that's necessary. The fact that you probably could have Raquel versus Liv, it's not a potential match. I hope that doesn't happen. If realistically, I hope EO ultimately does win the Queen and Ring tournament and goes all the way and faces Liv at SummerSlam. I hope that's the direction. But Liv in this tournament, I feel like it was I know why she's in it, because no credible challenges for her to do, and she's done nothing. Monday was her first match since winning the championship at WrestleMania. That's insane. So I guess in some respects she had to win, because what else is for her to do? That'll be slightly interesting, because she doesn't have incredible challengers right now. I don't think they're going to wait all the way until SummerSlam. So Io should win ultimately to face Liv at SummerSlam, but this tournament it's really gone really bizarre within the last week. So we'll see what happens, but I just felt this is bizarre to me that Liv is in it and she's gonna advance to the next round, but I hope she loses whatever to do that match in the semifinals. But anyway, this will call back.
I can't argue with you, man. This is a really weird setup for this King and Queen of the Ring tournament. It's almost like they just made as little wrestling as possible, as few matches as possible, to just get to the semifinals and the finals. Think about this. To get to the like all you had to do is win one match and you're already in the semifinals. One. That's the equivalent of, in say the Major League Baseball. That's the equivalent of winning one game in the playoffs, and you're in the ALCS or the NLCS, which is the series before the World Series. Makes no sense. And it does say to you that they wanted as little wrestling as possible. There's only 4 matches to get all 4 competitors into the final semifinals. It's a very weird thing to do. And it also is a little weird because, as you said, bizarre, weird, different. I mean, I don't hate this, but it does look like they're trying to have as little wrestling as possible because TKO hates professional wrestling, and they almost outwardly say they do because they're entertainment and not wrestling. So they're worse than what Vince tried to sell us. But they also have a ton of TV time to fill. You would imagine that they would try to fill that with, wrestling, having singles matches instead of fatal 4-ways. But that's not the way they wanted to go. They wanted to pump this tournament out, get quickly to just who they want to get to, and that's it. They were able to cut the tournament length in half by doing fatal 4-ways instead of singles matches, which is a shame. It just is. But as far as the men's side of things, I mean, you have Obafemi and Mysterio. On the other side, you have Javon Evans, and you have the winner of Friday night's Fatal 4-Way, which has Jey Uso, LA Knight, Royce Keys, and Finn Balor. Some great options there. I mean, I don't even know who's going to win that. I really have no idea. I could see Obafemi, though, like I've said before, going to the finals and getting screwed by Brock Lesnar. It could be Obafemi versus, Jey Uso. It could be Obafemi versus Finn Balor. But both are babyface. So I could see, honestly, how about Dominic Mysterio winning the whole damn thing? Not against it. I mean, having Rey Mysterio, God, I keep saying Rey, Dominic Mysterio getting the victory here, becoming a King of the Ring, sounds pretty damn good to me. Dom is he is in his comfort zone. He is no longer a rookie. He's excellent in all aspects. So Dom, I would actually argue, should win this. As far as the women go, yeah, you have Io Sky and Raquel Rodriguez. There is just no chance Raquel Rodriguez wins. Just none. Io Sky, she is a 99% chance of a winner here. I mean, she's the incredible, overwhelming favorite to win. And then, yeah, on the other side of the bracket, you have Liv Morgan, who's going to face the winner of the 4-way on Friday, which is going to have Sol Ruca, Valkyria, Flair, and Cargill. So that'll be fun. I just hope Io Sky wins. She should be the winner of the whole thing. So, Kyle, good to hear from you, my friend. I hope that all is well on your end of the earth, wherever that may be. Well, Baltimore, right? You're from Baltimore, so you're on my end of the earth. Actually, not that far from me. So, all right. There is a rumor floating around that CM Punk's leaving WWE. And we're going to go to the Sportster. All right, let's go to at least a halfway credible site. This is according to the Sportster. And there are rumors suggesting that Punk has backstage issues with TKO. And Punk has spoken disparagingly about TKO on WWE programming, and TKO has been asking talents to take a pay cut. It's possible that CM Punk leaves again. According to the Sportster, it says, quote, if any big star is likely to walk out of WWE amidst controversy, it's Punk. They talk about backstage frustrations in 2014 that we all know what happened there. There's likely still some existing tension and regarding the former regime, with several names still in and around the company from that period, old wounds could reopen. If Punk is unhappy, there is every chance that he decides to walk, especially since now he has 2 Mania events under his belt. But they ultimately concede that he'll probably stay for the time being. I would agree. Punk's in a good spot, man. He just killed the main event of WrestleMania in a good way. I can't give it enough praise. It was incredible. They have not yet really gotten to CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. We have not seen a potential CM Punk heel turn yet. He definitely checked one of the biggest boxes off of his list in main eventing WrestleMania, which is great for him. And not just main eventing it, but absolutely knocking it out of the park. Ironically, against a guy that he spoke out against famously in his initial podcast after he left WWE in 2014, Roman Reigns. So I just think it's always full circle. So I would agree. I don't think CM Punk's going anywhere. I think this is a whole bunch of nothing. If there is tension, and there may be, and with good reason, so what? So what? CM Punk likes money. We like CM Punk on TV. He's a ratings draw. He can still go at a very high level. He's not going anywhere. That doesn't mean he's signed a 10-year deal, but it does mean I think that he's going to stay here a while longer, maybe another year, and then really start to taper it down. Don't forget, guys, he's in his mid-40s. He's not a spring chicken. His body has faltered before. It'll falter again and falter more frequently as he gets older. So I don't think that we've seen the last of CM Punk. This is probably a bunch of nothing, and it's a big old nothing burger. And if he does quit, well, we are already living in a CM Punk free zone. There's nobody that the company needs bad enough to survive. It's just not the case. If Stone Cold Steve Austin can leave WWE from in a actual capacity of wrestling every week after being as hot as he was and the company was just fine, I don't think anybody else at any point in history could leave the company and in the future and the WWE and or TKO would go under. It's also not smart to put talent in that position to hold that much leverage over you. And I remember a story coming out over the last 5 to 10 years. I can't remember when exactly anyway, where it was noted that they will make sure that no star becomes as big as John Cena is, that they don't want any star bigger than WWE because they're not able to control that individual. It makes sense. It's a little bit frustrating from the outside, but as a business, I get it. But I also think that it's a bit counterproductive to try to, if this is the case in policy, unspoken policy internally, to suppress somebody's success ultimately is shooting yourself in the foot. Because you want to foment success, even if that means that that person individually is a bigger star than the company as a whole, that they have more leverage than you do. So what? That means when they show up, you make money. They're a ratings draw. Rather than having mediocre to higher level, kind of like mediocre, high level star power that doesn't really draw ratings, but it brings in your core audience. No. If that's truly an unspoken policy, it's probably ultimately a bad one. So I don't know where I'm going with that. But CM Punk, I don't think he's going anywhere, my friend. I really don't. Let me know what you guys think, though. I mean, maybe you have evidence to the contrary. Maybe you believe that CM Punk is leaving. Maybe there's a reason why. But the rumors right now are going everywhere that we have a very close to Splitsville with CM Punk and WWE. All right, we have some other news here in the wrestling world. And this is Bleacher Report. Sheamus, who posted a really gruesome photo of his head injury. He had not in the ring, but at the gym, he had a really bad accident. He's not dead. No, he's not at the hospital, but it's pretty gnarly, as they say. So this is what Sheamus posted. And obviously you can't see it, but he has blood coming down his head. He's got, it looks like his skull is cut open, but it's the skin on his head that's just blasted open. And what actually happened, he suffered a head injury. I'm trying to get the details of exactly what happened. I don't know exactly what happened. He probably dropped something on his head, I would imagine. Maybe a bar when he was squatting or doing a Smith, or maybe doing an overhead dumbbell press or something, because there is something that landed on his head to give him that cut. It's a brutal cut. So speedy recovery to Sheamus, no doubt about it. That is a nasty, nasty injury. You don't hear about too many injuries in the gym. Not to that degree. That may be the worst wrestling injury in a gym I've seen. Now, you could argue, well, Cody Rhodes, look what he did at Hell in a Cell with Seth Rollins a few years ago. Yeah, that looked rough because the internal bleeding from the tear of his pec left a bunch of bruising. But I would argue that your head is a little more severe. Not to downplay Cody's torn pec, that was still nasty looking, but the head injury trumps that because it's your damn head. So this probably takes the cake for the worst non-in-ring wrestling injury I've seen. And so speedy recovery to Sheamus, and hopefully he's back in the ring soon. I do hope that they eventually give him the respect that's due to him. Give him a little run before he calls it a day, and he's definitely got to be getting close. Not saying tomorrow, but he's been around the block. And I hope before he goes, they give him a run, even with the world title. What the hell not? I was going to say Intercontinental title, but he's been there, done that a million times. U.S. title, no. I would say give him a run with the world title if possible. He's got the experience. He's a grizzled veteran. He's stiff in the ring, safely stiff. People know who he is. He's got brand value. Why not? He doesn't need to have a 2-year run. Just a few months would even suffice. Not even out of just pity. Out of just, first of all, trying it. You never know what you could catch lightning in a bottle with. And he's due. He's owed that, I think. He's an unsung hero. I don't give him a lot of credit on the show because I don't really see him that much anymore, but he's a guy, he's a rare breed. He's a rare breed that you can't see through his work in the ring, meaning he doesn't look like he's punching you in a phony way. He and Gunther had some of the best matches that I've ever seen. And I'd love to see them go at it one more time. But all right, well, speedy recovery to Gunther or to Sheamus. Looks brutal. So if you want to see that picture, of course you can see it on the internet like everything else, but it's pretty rough. All right. This is according to Wrestling Inc., and we'll end here. WWE's Nikki Bella has been out of action since March after suffering an ankle injury, which caused her to miss WrestleMania 42. In a recent interview with Casino Guru, She expressed wanting to play the villain again while being inserted into a noteworthy storyline before her contract expires in January of 2028. She said, quote, "I want a meaningful story. I'd love to be a heel. I just want to have that type of creative, that story we used to have. I need that. I don't want to show up every week and not know what's going on, and let's just get through TV. I want passion there. I want something creatively that's like, oh shit, she's back. I really want to push myself outside the box. I would love to win a championship. It would be great to win a championship if it matches the story." Oh. Okay. Oh, is that all you want? Is that all that the creative owes you, Nikki? So you want to be a heel. I actually don't have any qualms about that. You are naturally incredibly unlikable. Just as a person, you're very unlikable. So all you got to be is yourself, and great. I mean, it's great to be a heel. I would concur with that. All right. So that's number one. She also says something. She wants a meaningful story. Again, not unreasonable that you want something meaningful to do. If you're in any line of work, you should have that drive to do something meaningful. And she wants passion, though. She wants passion. And she wants something that knocks our socks off, where everyone says, oh shit, she's back. Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's sit around and everybody drop what you're doing. If you're on the production team, drop what you're doing. Meet us in the boardroom. We are going to be here for weeks thinking about how to shock fans. And you better have passion. And you better come up with an oh shit moment for Nikki Bella. Well, Nikki, nobody owes you that. If you want passion, you can exert passion on your own. That's your job. Your job is to execute with passion. That's not their job. All right, so that's out. The oh shit, she's back. Creative, I mean, I would spend about 5 minutes of my time if I were in creative to think about ways that would be fun for Nikki Bella to come back. But you're never going to get an oh shit moment. That's not in the cards for you, Nikki. People don't care that much about your character to put you in any position where fans will go, oh my God, holy shit, she's back. Yeah, no. That is not possible because fans don't care about your character that much. They just don't. And she wants to push herself outside the box. Okay, well then that's on you. That's not on anybody else, of course. And then she wants to win a championship. Oh, okay. So here's a laundry list of things here's her demands. She wants to be a heel. She wants a meaningful story. She wants to show up every week and have everyone passionate about what she's doing. Have an oh shit moment that she's back. And she wants to win a championship. Oh, is that all? Yeah, is that all, Nikki? Do you like your own tour bus too while we're at it? You know, reallocate some funds, give you a nice tour bus, private masseuse. Maybe we'll send you on that private jet. We'll just kind of put some funds aside. We'll talk to Boeing. Get yourself maybe your own commercial jet. Oh my God, she's the worst. She's just the worst. And it's not over. Above all, again, continuing with the Wrestling Inc. story, Bella reiterated that she wants to be placed in a, quote, epic story before officially retiring from professional wrestling, but it remains to be seen if most of her final run will be alongside her sister or if she'll be chasing the goals she's listed as a single star. Oh, okay. So, well, then just add epic story to the list. No problem. Consider it done, Nikki. Good God. Yeah, let's come up with an epic story for Nikki Bella. Let's waste our resources and time on Nikki Bella, please. Because she says so. And she's got her laundry list of demands. We better meet them or oh wait, nothing. She's going to do what we tell her. And I am not a TKO apologist. I hammer them on this show on a regular basis. But if I'm TKO and I see this laundry list of demands from a star that thinks she's bigger than she is, it's not going to go well. Like, I'm going to put you in stuff now that's going to piss you right off. I'm going to put you in mediocre stories, put you on TV 1 week, take you off for 3, make fans wonder when you come back that you're still employed here. Like, that's probably actually going to be the reaction. I don't know if TKO or WWE or Triple H are that spiteful. I don't even know if, as they see this, or if they've seen this, if they would interpret it the way I do. But I will say that if she comes back, the stories and the reaction's probably going to be, oh, wow. Oh, that's right. I forgot about Nikki. Wasn't she injured or something? There's nobody who's going to say, oh, shit. No. Nope. No. We're going to reactive. Oh, okay. I guess she's back now. We're going to give her that reaction. All right. So that's that. So no problem, WWE. Get to work. Nikki says so. Put everything down. Get to those demands, or there will be absolutely no consequences. All right. So I'm going to end it there because I think I'm going off the rails. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. You want to go ad-free, patreon.com/WWE podcast, or you can go on Spotify, give us a 5-star rating, Apple, give us a 5-star rating, or anywhere that you can. Really helps us. I'll end it. Thank you so much, everybody. I will talk to you on Sunday, probably Sunday, my next live show. But of course, those of you on Patreon, I'll be posting out a video or 2 over the next few days. So stay tuned for that. Take care.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.